What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video. In this one, we're mostly centering the video around Double Game Week 33, what's been confirmed, what that means for our teams, what transfers we should prioritise, whether free hit 33 is now the obvious route for a lot of people. But we're also going to talk briefly about Game Week 31, because obviously there's a double there as well, and also a bit of chip strategy as well for those of you that got no wildcard, one free hit, two free hits, no free hits, and all that stuff as well. So if you do enjoy it, give it a like, hit that subscribe button if you are new around here. So the reason I'm kind of re-talking about this is because we now know more of what the fixture run looks like over the next few weeks. There are still games to be rearranged. We don't have the complete schedule for the rest of the season, but I thought we had a bit more time now with the break. We can go through what the fixture run's looking like. So Burnley are a team who obviously not doing that well, going to be in a relegation fight, but I do think the fixtures warrant taking a little bit of a look at their players. Obviously the double in 31 isn't great because it includes Man City, so you could just write that off and say, well, it's not even really a double game week. But then they play Norwich, then they got another double game week, then they play Wolves, then they got Watford, which is pretty good. They got Villa as well. They also have Villa away to rearrange. So even though they have two double game weeks already listed there, they will have one more after game week 33. Now, we don't necessarily know exactly when that's going to go, but most other fixtures, I think, are going to go in game week 36 or 37. It doesn't mean there'll be no other smaller double game weeks, but that's probably what's going to happen for most of the teams we're going to talk about today. So I think, Nick Pope, Weghorst, I've said this before, are definitely options to look at. Again, if you're going to free hit in game week 33, like if you decide to lock that in, either you've already decided or after watching this video, then you might have less of a reason to go for Burnley players, because then you can just dodge the Man City game. You can free hit them in if you really wanted to in game week 33. Although, to be honest, if you free hit 33, I don't think you'd have any Burnley players. And then if you needed to get them later on, you could just do that anyway. So it's all going to depend on when you're free hitting. If you're not free hitting, I do think Weghorst and Nick Pope are worth a look, especially if it's like a forward downgrade from like a Jimenez or maybe even a Lacazette. For whatever reason, you might want to do that. I don't think they're bad options. With Everton, I find it much more difficult to choose one. I think their double in 31 is better because they don't have to play Man City, but West Ham away is not necessarily that easy. Burnley's obviously a good fixture, just like Everton's a good fixture for Burnley right now, the way that Everton are playing. They do have two games to rearrange still, Palace at home and Watford away, which aren't too bad. The problem is, unless we find out soon when they're going to be, which I don't think we will, you've got Man United, Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea, then Leicester again. And Leicester defence hasn't been great, so you could look at an Everton attacker, but they're getting players back. Evans is back, Fofana's back, Castagne's back, James Justin's fit again and playing. They get a lot of players back, and I think this is going to help Leicester going forward. I don't think they're going to necessarily be right up there as one of the best defences for the rest of the season all of a sudden, but they are going to be improved. And then Man United, Liverpool and Chelsea, they're all going to be difficult teams for Everton to face, and I just worry a little bit about Everton. I don't know what drive and fight they've got in them. We know they've got quality players, and to use that cliche phrase, they're too good to go down. But the way they're playing right now, I'm worried for them, and I'm not sure how many results they're going to pick up over the next few weeks. And I just don't really defenders. No, Pickford possibly just because of save points and stuff like that. Calvert-Lewin, but is he going to get a run in this side? Has he got the fitness levels to do that? And obviously you've got Gordon as an enabler. That's about it. I can't get excited about Everton at all, so I'm not going to talk about them anymore. Double Game Week 33 is now confirmed. So Arsenal, Southampton, Man United, Burnley, Leicester, Brighton and Newcastle will all have double game weeks in Game Week 33. So it's a pretty big double game week. And because of the way the FA Cup results went, Leeds, Wolves and Aston Villa will all blank in Game Week 33. So Rafinha, Jimenez, Saïss, Sarr, Coutinho, etc. they're all going to blank in Game Week 33. So that's worth looking at. Without deep diving too much right now, the Arsenal double looks okay because you've got the Southampton game. Obviously Chelsea away is going to be fairly tough. Southampton looks all right as well. I mean, Arsenal at home is not easy. Burnley away is okay. The problem with Southampton is I just don't think there's too many players there to get excited about. Like Broja, for example, didn't play in the FA Cup game at the weekend. He didn't start. I'm not sure how much to read into that, but I just don't know how much his position is secure in that team going forward. Man United is pretty good because you've got that Norwich fixture, but obviously Liverpool away, the second game is tough as well. Burnley's is okay. West Ham away, Southampton at home. I think you see that as an okay double if you go for them early. I think if you if you use transfers on them to get the Norwich game, to get the other double game week. But if you're just free hitting, I don't think you'd have too many Burnley players. Leicester's is pretty decent. Newcastle away, Everton away. Brighton just a write off for the rest of the season from an FPL point of view. And Newcastle's Leicester at home, Palace at home. If Newcastle can keep performing well and maybe finally start getting a couple of clean sheets, I don't think that's that bad for defensive options. Maybe an attacker as well. So overall, that's the double. I would say on paper it doesn't look that great, but I don't think we should completely write off free hit 33 for a bunch of reasons we're going to go into. All right, I just want to quickly talk about the big three, right? The big three FPL teams, I would say, are Liverpool, Chelsea, and probably Man City, who don't now have doubles in game week 33. Neither do Spurs, to be fair, but a lot of people have already got Spurs players, so we don't need to cover them as much right now. They don't have doubles in 33. They will have doubles later on to come, and we probably should not ignore them for double game week players, right? Even if you decide you're not free hitting in 33, and so therefore you might want to get Weghorst in or whoever it is, we still shouldn't completely ignore these players because they've got pretty good fixtures to come, and obviously they're three of the best teams in the league. And for Liverpool and Man City, they're still fighting for the title. So although they have European games, the amount of rotation you would assume is going to be a lot less than it normally would, right? We've seen in previous seasons that the league is wrapped up with weeks and weeks to go, and teams start fully rotating for Europe. City did that, I can't remember if it was last season or season before, but we pretty much knew the team they were going to play in Europe and the team they were going to play in the league. They just rotated that much. That's not going to happen now. So Liverpool have obviously got Watford at home, so a lot of people are going to have Trent and Salah. I don't want to go too much into specific players, injuries and stuff like that, right? It's too early in the break, but let's say they're both fit, Trent and Salah, then you want to add a third. I think Robertson looks good. The only reason you can maybe put it off a little bit longer is Liverpool and Man City play each other in game week 32, and I think both teams score in that game, and therefore neither side probably gets a clean sheet. I do think it could be quite cautious because there's a lot riding on it this time. I mean, there's always a lot riding on it, but when you're so close to the end of the season, neither team obviously want to lose that game because that would be huge for the title. I think it could be cautious, but I still see both teams scoring. So you could potentially go without getting a defender for the game week 31 fixture to then skip it for 32. And if you do end up free hitting in 33, you could potentially put off getting your third Liverpool player or Cancelo or whatever Man City midfielder it is until game week 34. But we'll talk about Man City in a second. And then the fixtures, obviously got Newcastle away. Everton at home is a good fixture. They still got Villa away to rearrange as well. So there are double game weeks to come for Liverpool around 36, 37. So we shouldn't ignore them. Chelsea in particular, right? If you're like me, you got no Chelsea players whatsoever. They've got a fantastic run. It doesn't look as good the way I've colour-coded the fixtures like I do for everyone. But Southampton, Everton, Wolves, these are all good fixtures. Brentford's really good. West Ham at home, Arsenal at home. Okay, they're a bit more difficult, but at least they're home games. So I'm looking at, can I get Mason Mount in? Is Havertz an option with Europe, or is Lukaku going to get minutes? James, Rudiger, they're all really good options that I want to bring into my team. And I don't want to get too caught up. Like, double game weeks are important. I think some people kind of underrate them, but we shouldn't overrate them so much that we kind of ignore players like this. And also, they've got Leicester at home and Leeds away to still rearrange. So we know they're going to get a couple of double game weeks. Like, Chelsea players just look so good to bring in right now. And if you wanted to free hit 33, then you lose them for Arsenal at home, or you even keep one or two in if you wanted to. But for the rest of the season, Chelsea are going to be pretty important. The only difference, I guess, is they're not competing for the title, and their top four spot it's not secure, but it'd be very unlikely for them to lose it, and they could rotate because of Europe. And that is why I maybe prefer Mason Mount over Havertz, because I think his minutes are a little bit more secure. Like, Havertz is the number 9 right now for Chelsea, but I wouldn't be surprised if in some of those easier games that Lukaku gets minutes and Havertz gets rested for Europe. So that's a slight question mark, but I do like Havertz if he's going to keep playing, obviously. And then the other one is Man City. Their fixture run is ridiculously good. They have Wolves away already to rearrange as well. Again, they got a similar problem in that game week 32 they play against Liverpool, but outside of that, you'd love Man City players. Laporte, Cancelo, Diaz. Obviously Diaz is injured at the moment, but Laporte, and Cancelo. Foden is still starting very regularly. These are all players I'd want to be looking at how I can get them into my team, and whether I was free hitting in 33 or not, I'd really want to try and start prioritising how I get them in right now. So as much as the double game weeks are important, so are all the points in the other weeks, and Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City should not be forgotten. I'm sure most of you weren't going to forget them anyway, but look at that fixture run. It is incredible. So I'm going to come on to the rest of the chips in a minute, but I want to specifically talk about free hit 33 right now for anyone that's thinking of doing it. Someone asked me on Twitter yesterday, is it now good or bad to do it in 33? I don't think it's a case of that. I think it's going to be team dependent. It's going to depend on which players you value in game week 33, whether you want to go full differential, for example. I would say that the FA Cup results make free hit 33 better because obviously Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea are now not doubling. If any of them are lost and then we're suddenly doubling in 33, it would make the free hit less effective, right? Because you'd want those players anyway and they'd be doubling. So it's definitely better because of the FA Cup results, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go for it. So one of the things it allows you to do is concentrate your transfers on better players. So as I said at the start of the video, like Weghorst is someone I would definitely consider if I wasn't free hitting in 33, because you'd have him for the 31 double, Norwich, then the next double in 33, and that's not a bad little fixture run for him. But if you were free hitting, you'd probably just go all in on Man City, extra Liverpool players, extra Chelsea players, etc., and then just free hitting all the players you don't really want to keep long term. Like Man United, for example, they don't have bad fixtures in 31 and 32, and they've got no other cup competitions to play for. But you're not going to prioritise them, I don't think, over the other big teams that I've spoken about. So you could free hit them in as differentials, because a lot of people are not going to own like triple Man United going into 33, and they do have that Norwich game. And then obviously you go without them. So there are some pros to the free hit 33 for sure. And a lot of people will go for it. I may even do it myself. I guess you risk slightly being hurt by Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool because you probably are not going to free hit with most of those players in your team. Man City have probably got the best fixture against Brighton. So you could keep one or two Man City players if you wanted to. Liverpool got Man United, and obviously the reverse fixture they absolutely smashed them, so that could happen again. But I don't think you'd necessarily free hit with the likes of Salah, maybe not even Trent either, to be honest. And Chelsea, I don't think you'd have too many of them either. So they're not necessarily players you want to lose, so you have to kind of weigh up whether you're happy doing that, and I'll show you the team difference in a sec. And then the reasons why you might not do it is to save it for future double game weeks. And I know some people say, like, it feels like we're just constantly trying to save our chips forever, like going into next season. The problem is we don't 100% know exactly when the fixtures are going to go in 36 and 37, so we know what games teams have to rearrange, but they don't necessarily all go into specific game weeks. So it could be a case where your team's really set up well for one, but not the other one. And so saving the free hit for the unknown can be quite helpful. Whereas if you use it in 33, you know what you're getting, but you don't know what you're getting afterwards. So if you decide not to free hit in 33, you can prioritise your transfers because you know what's going to happen in 31, 32 and 33. And then you've got that free hit as a backup for later on, possibly in a bigger double game week. Now, you might say, well, I'm already going to have Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City players, so that's fine. And I agree with that, but at least, like, game week 36 is still quite a long way away. There's still a lot of European matches to play, and bearing in mind rotation and stuff like that, you know, if you could nail like the correct 3 Man City players on a free hit, for example, that could be huge. That could be huge. Maybe someone's got injured, they're in your team, you don't have the transfers to fix it or whatever. You start having to take loads of hits. The free hit in 36 or 37 could be better. The problem is I can't tell you right now for sure if that's the case. And I do think by game week 31, we need to start making decisions on this because it will affect your transfers. So right now, I think I'm leaning more towards using the free hit in 33, but I could be swayed for 36. Again, it really comes down to how much you value the free hit team in 33, which is why I've got an example. So I think if you were free, like, again, things could change by game week 33, but if you were going to use it, I think you probably would go triple Man United because the Norwich fixture's in there, and I think Man United have got nothing else to play for, so rotation is going to be a lot less, especially for players like Ronaldo, Fernandes, Sancho. I think they will start most of the games now for the rest of the season. It's not guaranteed, of course, like those fixtures are close together, but they don't have anything else to play for. So I've got triple Man United, triple Arsenal. Now, I've stuck with Tierney, Saka and Lacazette because that's the 3 I've got already. Obviously, Ramsdale could be in there if he's fit as well. You could go for double midfield instead of Lacazette. But they're the three that I've gone for in this. And I've also gone for Barnes and Maddison because I think that double game week for Leicester is pretty good. The one thing to say on them is, if you don't already own them, they are just good long-term holds anyway. So with Leicester players, you wouldn't necessarily want two midfielders, I don't think, for your actual team. But you could have one for 33 anyway, because they've still got fixtures to rearrange afterwards, and they've got good fixtures to come anyway. So free hitting them in and then just not having them for the rest of the season probably isn't a great option anyway. So they are players you could focus your transfers on. Then I've got a Newcastle defender in there because the fixtures are okay. And then I've still kept Cancelo and I've still kept Son. Again, I've put Son in there because that's the money that I've got. If you can afford Kane, then yes, you could play 3-4-3 with Kane instead of Son. So that's the free hit team. Again, you can make changes to that. Things might my actual free hit draft might be different by game week 33, but that's roughly what I think it would look like. Get my words out, and this is what my actual team could look like by game week 33. Okay, now this is with 2 transfers in game week 31. Roll the transfer in 32. And then this is actually just 1 transfer used in game week 33. So I actually have another free transfer to use. And I could obviously take some hits if I wanted to. So the big difference is I've got Weghorst up front instead of Ronaldo. Which, to be fair, I'd rather have Ronaldo, of course. But I've got Weghorst left over from the previous couple of weeks. I've got Salah instead of Fernandes. Now, I'm not. Well, I would definitely back Fernandes ahead of Salah on free hit, but would I be shocked if Salah outscores him? No, I guess not. I've got Barnes in there. I've got Saka in there anyway. I've still got Son. I've got Tierney in there anyway. I've got Dubravka off my bench, and I would bench Sarr, who's blanking. I've got Trent in there, so obviously he's in there instead of like a Newcastle defender or something like that. And I've got Reece James left over because I would definitely look to get a Chelsea defender in game week 31 and 32 because they just look great. And because I've got another free transfer, I could get another double game week player in if I wanted to. Like I could do Kulusevski to Maddison if I wanted to double on Leicester. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double game week players for 33. Now they're not the most ideal ones, I get that, but perhaps saving that free hit for one of the bigger doubles later on could be worth it. One thing I will say is I'm not sure how much I should put Broja as an option for a double game week because he didn't start that FA Cup game and I just don't know how secure his place is going to be going forward. So I might have to write that off as a double game week player. So you could say I've got 6. So that would be my team versus the free hit team. I would definitely back the free hit team to outscore mine, but is it going to be enough? And I don't know. I was kind of pro free hit 33, but when I put this team together, I'm not as sure as I was. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I do want to touch on chip use as well in this video. Like, I'm fully aware, obviously, it's an international break, so there's plenty of time to go in a little bit more depth. But now we know Game Week 33 is confirmed, I kind of want to give you just some initial thoughts. So if you've got no chips, I think you always have to just kind of try and balance everything as best as you can. It doesn't mean taking loads and loads of hits, but it probably means not necessarily having, like I just said, I've probably got 7 double game weekers in 33. I could maybe have a couple more. You might have a few less, but as long as you've got the player you think is the best captain, then like maybe 3-4 other really good players, and you're also not completely ignoring the other game weeks, that's probably okay. And what I mean by that is if you bought Weghorst in to get double game week 31 and 33, but then you got in like a Chelsea defender or a Man City defender, you're probably doing okay. And once you're bringing in those Chelsea, Man City, and you've already got Liverpool players in, they will have doubles in the future as well. So you're kind of striking a pretty good balance there. If you've got one free hit, I think, like I've spoke about in this video, it's free hit 33 versus 36, maybe 37 as well. Your wild card, I think the best options now, you either do it this week, and I will have a video on the wild card tomorrow, or you do it in game week 34. The only reason you'd maybe wait till 34 is you just get this little block out the way where we kind of know what's going to happen, and then you wild card in 34 to just smash the rest of the season for the setup for the double in 36, the double in 37, and whatever else happens before the end of the season. I don't think there's a right or wrong in that, and I'll discuss that more in tomorrow's video. Bench boost is probably game week 36, like we've said all along. But to be honest, any time you've got a good bench, you could just do it, even if that's single game week players. Because ultimately you don't want to spend all your transfers just setting up for a bench boost. But game week 36 will probably still be pretty good. And if you've got 2 free hits, I'd say free hit 33 is pretty good. I don't know if you need both your free hits after game week 33. So you could probably use one for 33, and then once you know what's happening in 36 and 37, you make sure you've got the team you want for one of those weeks with transfers, and then you free hit the other week, and that is probably it. If you've got 2 free hits at this point, you're in a really good position for the rest of the season. Same if you've got a wild card. So I wouldn't panic too much. I don't think this is going to be super hard to manage. It's a lot of information to take in. I know this season has been mad. Next season will probably be a little bit more simple, apart from the fact there's a World Cup in the middle of the season, but we'll come to that. We won't start worrying about December and November at this point in the season. So if you did enjoy that video and it was helpful, please do give it a like and hit that subscribe button. Plenty more videos to come this week. Wildcard video will be tomorrow. I'll know exactly who hasn't watched this video because they'll be leaving comments below saying, when are you wildcard video? When are you wildcard video? It's coming. Do not panic. Give it a like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.